All right, guys, I'm a huge Midjourney fan. I've been using it for my graphics, for my renderings and everything, but I'm really excited because Photoshop's got its new features now. So I wanted to show some of those really fast, some of the things that we can do with that. So in my previous process, if I wanted to expand this scene, maybe I want to use it for a graphic, or if I want to have like a background, rendering, whatever it is, okay? What I would typically try to do is do the content aware, okay, which would generally do a good job filling, but it's going to take reference from a lot of these different areas and try to build it to its best. So when you have complicated things that, disappear in perspective, so let's show you now what it does with this guy. All right. So we get a pretty dang seamless scene with that after just waiting for about 20 or so seconds to let that kind of compute, figure it out, compare some things, go off my command. I even get the option to do a couple different iterations of it that I can kind of select, and it creates it as a new layer down here so that if I don't really want to look at that, or if I want to use it for other composite stuff, I can just do that. Okay, and it also has this panel right here. So as you continue to do more iterations, like if I wanted this to kind of fade into a vignette, I could see those different variations and kind of cycle through them. Okay, so super powerful on that. Extending areas, covering things up, a lot more where content aware would have gone. Okay, so some other things that I wanted to talk about real fast was other objects, okay? So a typical Photoshop process would be if I wanted, to put something in this pop right here, let's say, okay? So say I want to do a single flower. Okay, so we've already got our variations here. It's already adding some dirt details, kind of giving me some options on flowers. I think I could be a little more specific on what I wanted, but I think these are pretty dang good. Okay, but what's really interesting about this too, it's all of your selection. Okay, so like if I wanted to trim off right on that edge and do some different layering effects like that, I could, but what it's doing is it's actually being pretty smart, being able to understand that that lip right there is I want it inside that pot. So this isn't just, fill it, hey, I did exactly what I wanted you to. It's actually figuring out what the pot is and where you want it to go. Figuring out this, different piles of dirt that you can have. Okay, so that's pretty incredible on there. Okay, so you could add some other things, like if I want to put something in the background here for some of these to work. Okay, so there's a nice motion blur on this person. Let's come back on this one. Say I wanted to actually see a face here, so I could be good with that one. And I could say, attractive woman face. All right, so she kind of looks sinister, and she looks very grumpy. Okay, so we could do something like that. You continue to kind of dial in the preferences and things like that. If you wanted to change the hairstyle, you wanted to change any of the features about that, continue to dial that in. But I think that's looking good for what we want. Hands aren't super bad. So maybe this gal is shopping at a giant plant store, and maybe we have one of the giants coming in to grab something. So let's do a hand grabbing flowers. Okay, so it's going to use the context typically of what these flowers are that we've chosen from this variation. The one thing is if you change these variations, then you start to introduce other problems. It doesn't match up quite exactly, okay? So, here's a decent hand coming to pick this. I'd be terrified if I was this size and a giant hand like that came in. But again, you're getting some other variations that you can kind of select from. You know what? I'd be somewhat happy with that if I was compositing this together, okay? So just some kind of cool things. Most importantly, I would have to grab all of these, match perspectives, match shadows, do a lot of things. And yes, it takes a minute to kind of do these, and some of them aren't perfect, but for quick composites and things like this, that's pretty dang powerful. So Well, let me know what kind of stuff you guys are excited about with this.